are going to be, each week I like to have like a talking point, like a current affairs story. Technician, could you load up our second clip, please, for talking point? Thank you. So this week, talking point, I saw a story, well, I actually saw Benjamin Zephaniah. He appeared on Jeremy Vine's show and he was talking about reparations. I think Glasgow University have agreed to pay some reparations because they found that there was contributions from the slave trade. And it's kind of set up like shockwaves because people have been asking for reparations for years. And Benjamin Zephaniah, he's come on and said, yeah, it's fantastic, but is it really enough? And what he was saying is that people have lost their whole, like, then you don't know your name, you don't know your culture, you don't have a language. And I think me growing up as a British Caribbean, I was born here, my mum's from Barbados, my dad's from Jamaica. I don't know before that. And we do lose out, and I think sometimes you see African descendants, they have their language, but I don't know where I'm from, so I thought it was really interesting. Are we ready with the BT? Not. So let's continue talking, and I'll surely shout when he's ready. So what do you think? Do you think reparations are important? Do you think it's past? Like people have said to me previously, slavery's gone by, we've kind of moved forward, we've got over it, and I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Who told you that?
I was working at a school, and somebody said to me, people aren't really bothered about slavery. It was a white lady said it, and I'll say, well, maybe from your perspective they don't, but a lot of the time people will not talk about those kind of things in a public forum because it makes people feel uncomfortable. But it's definitely something that's still there. And for me personally, I think the effects of slavery are still very, very apparent. Even with the mentality or the way that people, like the stereotypes of black people, how black people are angry or they're lazy. These things come from that period. And I don't know, how can you really repay someone for displacing them, taking their whole history? From the clip, it said that it works out to about 200 million. If it was in today's money, that's how much money.
I heard it was close to 2 trillion.
No, just Glasgow University.
Oh, right, okay.
200 million pounds has come from the slave trade in today's money, and they're giving back 20,000. But that money is going to go to the University of West Indies to try and do something, which I think is fantastic. So I think there should be praise for it. Great. But on the other side of it, it's like a raindrop in the sea, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's bigger than money, you know. What we've lost out, you know, money's not gonna cover it. You know, we need, as well as the money, it's a good start, but you know, we need an education of who we are, who we were, you know, where we come from. Otherwise, without that, we're still not gonna know where we're going to. And as much as you can, you know, you're gonna give that money to us. Without the education, that money's just going to filter straight back to where it started from. Yeah. You know, without that education and that knowledge of self, that's what's going to happen.
I agree with what you're saying about the knowledge of self and finding out. I have a friend, she's actually in Ghana at the moment, got a Atu Foundation, where she's traced her ancestry, she goes back to Ghana. She's trying to invest there, and she's got a business. I think it's important that we learn our history, but then also, I think it's good that they're giving back to the University of West Indies. What about us over here? Like, where are we? And how does that actually help us?
It's difficult.
No, I'm trying not to say too much because my mouth runs. I'm an Asian woman, but I'm going to tell you how
culturally,
it is.
Yeah.
Culturally Asian, from Asian descent, but like I said, I'm bringing up West Indian children, so I am qualified myself in this. Listen, until someone's going to change the curriculum and we're going to stop learning about white supremacy in our children's school books, okay? Until somebody's gonna until they're gonna change the perception of black culture as violent, as gangs, as gun crime, as postcode wars, as just this toxic connotations associated with our black culture or the youths or the young people or our families or the way we think or the way we discipline our children, until you're going to take account of the generational trauma that's installed family to family, generation to generation, the whole history rewritten. Until you're going to tell us where all the artifacts are hidden, until you're going to return all of the pyramids, the contents of the pyramids, until you're going to, until you're going to stop faking the art, the music, until you're going to start giving people credit for the writing, the ideas, the inventions. Then we can talk reparations. But for now, all you're doing is going, well, we're not like that.
Yeah,
Let's give you some money because
we don't want to be associated.
This is why I have to stay quiet because
you don't have. That's
like, no, I do.
You don't have to stay quiet.
I'm too opinionated on something which, although it doesn't directly affect me and my ancestry, there are other elements. So as an Asian person, too many people don't understand that, you know, the British colonised India too. There were slaves that were Indian, there were descendants of mine which were raped, pillaged, whatever. But ultimately, all I'm saying in this respect, and with respect to what exactly we're talking about, there isn't anything that can be whitewashed, pun on the word white, as you know, positive to something which is catastrophically ruined and caused the demise of like a whole culture, a whole creation, okay, of just annihilated everything and anything that's ever existed colonialization, and then gone afterwards. But you know what? We understand that some of that's been affected for the slave trade. Listen, you're giving us strips of taxpayers' money when you want to talk about reparations. You've got us living in council flats stacked on top of each other, and then in land that we have to pay for to be in without any actual hope of giving land to our kids. You've taken people and encouraged people to come here in the promise that they're going to help and assist, and then turn around and go, why are you here? We don't want you here.
Because of Windrush, I think
it's everything. There's literally a line in one of my poems where I go like, they tell us we can fly, really got us believing, but they don't warn of the ceiling that limits our dreaming, obstructs our breathing. How are we supposed to fly when we're down here kneeling? Like, you've got us here thinking that you're the system and everything is the police, the biggest gangs. I can't even get involved. You're talking about gangs and gang crime and violence, but the whole country, the whole community is designed to go, yeah, okay, right, oh, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to do that. It's crazy. The hypocrisy is crazy. The historical implications of actions led by people that weren't ever supposed to go and infiltrate any land that was never even theirs to go near, okay, is ridiculous. And the fact that reparations in itself is supposed to be, I don't know, some kind of consolation. No, thank you, from Y.A. Okay? No.
Sounds like you're reading words from in my head.
Yeah.
I
think I am, you know, because I can feel it.
I'm trying not to let off, but
but
what you did say, what you did say is it starts from them taking account. That's where it starts from, you know. Giving us little reparations, that's not cutting it. It starts from them taking account of how catastrophic, exactly what you said, the effects of it are still today. You know, you get told certain times that, you weren't a slave, my parents weren't slave masters, so get over it. It was years ago. You was never a slave, so why is it affecting you? You know, some of you, look, he's a lawyer, he's a doctor, he's this and that. Why can't, everyone else do the same?
It affects you. Your DNA carries from generation to generation.
It's a huge
It's
trauma.
in you.
there's a doctor. I was one of the first when I first started educating myself. It was a DVD. It was actually CD in those days, DVD days. It was post-traumatic slave syndrome by Dr. Joy Degree, I think her name is, and it talks about how we carry those traumas and how our behaviour changes. And she says we've got to lance the boil. We have to address it. We have to stop, address it, acknowledge, and then we can move forward. So I think I completely agree. It's like a drop in the sea. But what I'm saying is that at least they're acknowledging something. And I think the fact that Glasgow University stood up and said, you know what, we're going to take some responsibility, I think is a massive step. It's a tiny step if you think about the whole journey. But the fact that they're actually saying, hands up, we've done something, is good.
And if it's going to be a catalyst for change everywhere else, then that's great. But it can't be a excuse. Sometimes people use this as agendas or propagandas or like different reasons to make you think, you know what, they're cool. And it's a different, they're all right, they get it. It can't be on the, it's got to be about intentions at the end of the day. Until I'm assured of anybody's like authentic attention, I'm always going to be a bit cynical, me personally, and it's not even something that directly affects my bloodline. That's crazy, you know. But I'm not about this measly reparation.
Measly? So we need to up your game.
It is a good start.
It's a good start.
There was a time when David Cameron was even refusing to even apologise for
Exactly.
it, because they didn't want to, acknowledge it as being wrong. So because after they do that, then obviously, you have to give reparations, because other races have been, have received reparations for the ones that they've received.
We've got Israel. They were given that land. That's why we've got the war in the Gaza Strip now, because they were given that land as reparations. So what do we get? Do we even have hold of Africa at the moment? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like
No, we don't.
It's
a situation that can, mentally kind of bring you down, and partly that's what it's designed to do. The whole divide and rule conquer it.
Yeah.
But it can bring you down. But as long as you try and stay positive with it, see the positives in what it could, set off. Because as they call it, the precedence of just looking at what's happened, they've donated money to it. Okay, so they're acknowledging, okay, it is wrong. It has caused trauma. What can we move forward from it?
And it was at West Indies University.
Yeah, University of the West Indies.
See, that alone, that's going to benefit those people. So I do get that. I do appreciate that. That there is a positive there.
But 20 million, I mean, when you put it on a scale, I mean, how many people is that actually going to help? What's it going to do? And I think we have to invest back in the West Indies and Africa. But there's also us, the descendants here now, are dealing with it. I think part of the state our society's in is because of that mentality. So it's like...
But it's because we're here as well. So you're with the very people that colonise your people. And then you're supposed to not be upset about what's happened. And then not only if you're upset about if you actually voice that in any aspect, in any way, you express that through frustration, whether that could be towards the police, the system, the politics, then you're being disobedient, and therefore you need to be challenging the system. That's why they incarcerate so many of them. Because to them it's systematic. It's all and divide, because ultimately you see it at Notting Hill Carnival. If they and no one's being too, but they'll stand back and they'll be there in numbers. But you lot are readying yourself up in a different way. I sound so racist, and I'm not. But I mean, I just mean in a sense where, when you actually, what do you say?
No, you're always going to get told.
Yeah.
When you're pro, you're anti-this,
exactly. But when you actually really take into consideration, hold on, in certain circumstances, it is a small, minority that are dealing with the majority and then calling them the minority. Yeah. That's crazy. Here in London anyway, obviously different parts of the UK, Britain is Britain, but for me, I've grown up in London, so I'm going to talk about it.
Okay, well, it's definitely a good talking point.
Got my blood pressure up.
I don't see this. I'm trying not to just remember people are watching this like that.
But
do some mood ties still.
yeah, we need a punch bag in here this time.
It's not me.
I'm sure you can take it.
Probably could.